been a while since we last spoke about on an underwriting topic in this format, right? I mean, I've been writing quite a bit on underwriting in claims and healthcare and so on, but I took a pause on this format. But today, I thought I will come back to this for once, especially on writing substandard lives. The reason I'm bringing this point is I was writing an article for my blog, on information asymmetry, and a couple of examples, quite a lot of examples came to my mind at that point of time, and this was largely to do with how we underwrite substandard lives, especially in India. In most countries, whether it's life or health or business, you will see a significant proportion of substandard lives, and underwriting substandard lives is a bigger or finer art than underwriting itself. Unfortunately, in India, to the extent I've seen, the proportion of substandard lives has not significantly increased in the portfolio of most companies, be it life or health companies. The approach so far largely seems to be how do we get more standard lives in the portfolio. But think about it for a moment. In a country where there is aging which is happening, and in some of you will say, oh, we are in a young country, but think about it. The people who buy insurance are not necessarily the youngest population, and the geography from which you see people buying more insurance are not necessarily the youngest of the population. And I've already written about this in my blog about the aging South Indian. Now picture this, forget about for a moment for today or the past, and picture this 5 years from now. 5 years from now, you're probably going to have a reasonably aged population which is buying insurance, and most of your products are already going to cover some of them in the life insurance cover up to year 100, and then health you will pretty much have a mandate to soon cover after a period, forever. And this will bound to be happening, so how do we manage the situation? You can't keep saying that oh no, you have this risk, you have that risk, you have this diagnosed condition and that diagnosed condition, and therefore we will not be able to underwriting not able to underwrite you or even offer terms for you. If you think about this, and if God forbid, for whatever reasons, if you have a regulation which comes up saying that you can not reject any life insurance or health insurance applications on health ground, think about it, how are you going to solve this problem? Because this is not something which is theoretical. This is already a practice in most countries and in regulation in many other countries. So how do we manage this kind of situation? It's important that while I talked about data digitization and the impact of this on underwriting, it's also important to scale up the skills of the underwriters, and also it probably starts with a mindset of moving away from static single point underwriting or underwriting at the point of sales to a continuous dynamic underwriting. I know quite a lot of reinsurers talk about this, but the reality is that most reinsurers still have a static manual, right? Think about it. There are more ways and means you need to think about how to start doing continuous or underwriting, and for that you will need more and more data points coming in. You can't just be going to the customer every now and then ask them. So think about it. What's the better way? Well, the better way to do this probably is to get your customers on a health ecosystem platform where the way they consult their doctors, their prescriptions, their follow-ups, their compliance, and so on will help you to understand who needs more follow-up in terms of underwriting, and probably your profit comes from not getting standard lives onto your book. Your profit probably will come from keeping not only the standard lives but also the substandard lives reasonably healthy on your portfolio. So I think there is this need for shift in mindset first. Moving away from the single point manual based, rule based based underwriting to a continuous data flow based underwriting. And for this, you definitely need new skills and new tools. It may serve purpose for you now, to make a quick issuance, static underwriting, and get on with life. But when regulations change, the medical technologies and diagnostic technologies keep changing, people probably will tend to live longer, and when they live longer, for the life insurance industry, it's going to be a challenge that most people will find it very difficult to accept that a policy which they bought for 100 years will probably not pay through during their lifespan. So they may try expecting more from life insurance companies, and the same goes with the health insurance companies. As the population ages, you will have more and more burden of hospitalization, and the important part of something which we miss in all this is that quite a lot of population from India has emigrated, and most of these are from my generation or the generation before that, and this will be coming back to India in a couple of decades or earlier. As the cost of living and cost of healthcare increases in other countries, when they are not earning, they will tend to return back to India. And when they return back to India, these are the people who can afford healthcare, and therefore the healthcare is going to be as congested as it is today. And remember, in older age, it takes more healthcare resources and more costs to keep anyone healthy. So there's going to be this always constant battle as whom we should underwrite and how we underwrite, and get away from that mindset. We need to have only standard lives on our books. And I think unless you redefine your standards, which may not be the right way to do things, especially in a world where hyper personalization or the N of one is becoming more and more prominent. So in summary, I would say, just now, like I said, in a world where there is N of one, which is going to become more and more prominent, where people are going to live longer, and especially in India, when the population in some states are aging rapidly, and in some other people from abroad may be returning back to India, and all this is going to create a new dynamic population set. New dynamics in the population set, which buys insurance, whether it be life, health, or disability. I know we still don't have disability insurance in India, but all this will change. I hope this helps in changing our mindset, and see you soon next week. Bye.